Let's talk about Jack Shultz. Most of you probably know Jack as Jen Abmer's on-again, off-again married boo, but if you live in the Edmonton area, of course, you would probably recognise him as a self-proclaimed child AB hunter for dog dads on guard. Jack and his little buddy Zach spend their spare time setting up and trapping child ABers, usually by posing as underage girls on social media and then messaging and leading on the men. They then lure them to houses on the pretense of a party and then bust them for trying to hook up with these girls. While Jack thinks he's a hero of Edmonton, there are a lot of people out there that think his work is unconventional and maybe even a ruse. Just last week, TWT had a heap of information sent to the page from someone who is close to Jack and his wife, Kathy. So while I do trust that this information is correct, everything I'm about to say to you is, of course, allegedly. This was sent to me in bullet points, so I'm going to share them over more than one TikTok so that we can expand on some of them, which means it's most likely going to be several parts of this video because there is a lot to unpack. And of course, if you are from the Edmonton area and there's anything you want to add, comment it below and we'll discuss it. So the first bullet point says Jack actually did take Riley and wouldn't let Kathy see him. Now Riley is Jack's youngest son, and if you all remember when Jack left his wife Kathy for Jen Abmer, he also took Riley with him and wouldn't let Kathy see him or speak to him. Jack was staying with Jen, and Jen and Jack would constantly rub it in Kathy's face that she was with him. Jen posted a picture with Riley, talking about how he loves cuddling with her on the couch, just like his dad, and Jack posted a picture out to dinner where Jen had her arm around Riley, and it was captioned, Jenna Lynn and her little man Riley enjoying a dinner date. Now, what sort of father uses his child as a pawn to manipulate his wife like this? Especially one that's supposed to be all about protecting the children. Not only does he have his child around a woman that's had every single one of her children taken out of her care, but he is having his child play along with his sick manipulations to hurt his mother. Not to mention, Jack has gone between his wife and Jen several times. How confusing for this poor child. And Jack seems to think that Riley is loving it, and maybe he is. It seems that he'll do just about anything to get Jack's approval. And can we blame him? We've all seen what happens when people don't jump when Jack says so. When his daughter Caitlin stood up to Jen, Jack told her he wasn't even her father, which is not true. And we can't forget to mention his other son Glenn, who he had locked up for being a child ABer. But his poor wife Kathy is constantly being belittled and humiliated on Facebook by him. Now, I'm just going to share a couple of examples with you, and I'm telling you, there has been a lot over the last few years since I've known who Jack is, and well, basically, he came into the spotlight for me when he started dating Jen Abmer. I had no idea who he was before, but obviously we have a lot of Edmonton followers on the page, and so yeah, they all knew who he was, but not many of them, actually, I'm going to probably say none of them like Jack or anything that he stands for. But here's just a couple of examples. So this is a picture of her, which looks like she's in some sort of Santa lingerie, and he's posted on Facebook publicly, like this is not for friends to see or friends of friends, not that it makes it any better, but this is publicly, and it's a picture of her in her lingerie, and it says, and this is what she sends our friends, LMFAO, washed up there, Catherine Coombs. Like, dude, this girl is so far above you. Like, in the looks category, if we're looking at this, he's batting way above, and he's going to sit there and run her down. Like, really, man? But what the worst thing is, he knows what he's doing. Like, even if she was sending out nudes to his friends, if that was the case, like, yep, that's gross, but you handle that at home. You don't post it to humiliate people on Facebook. And here's the post directly after that one. It says, oh, what? You're going to tell people my daughter seen me doing blow? Go ahead, LMFAO. Say whatever you want. I don't give an F, LMFAO. Or wait, don't forget to mention almost died of a heroin overdose less than 3 months ago. And don't forget, I F'd our friend in our bed no more than a month ago when you were at work, LMFAO. See, you can say whatever the F you want, because guess what? I don't give a rat's ass what anyone says. Ugh. Let's be real here, and this is just my opinion. I can't believe anyone is effing him in anyone's bed. And then we have this one. So basically, Jack has put up a post on Facebook of Kathy's car and said, watch and report a drunk driver. 2013 Dodge Durango. He puts up the license plate and says where it was last seen. This bee doesn't learn, get her off the road before she kills an innocent person. And then the next one says, find it and it's yours. It's a picture of the car. And it says, when you find it, you'll need a tow truck because this bee isn't driving anywhere and the effing Durango is next on my list. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend that Kathy is a saint because from what I've heard, allegedly, she has quite the drinking problem and they're both really, really toxic people. And lastly, from the examples I'm going to give you in this video at least, he writes, "You think pushing me was the right effing thing to do? Watch what the F happens next." So please take all that as you will. We'll be back to discuss the other bullet points in future TikToks. But I want to know, especially if you're from Edmonton, what are your thoughts on Jack Shultz? Because when I read his page, he talks about how much good he does within the community with putting away child ABers and getting turkey dinners out to families in need and things like that. But then on the same token, he's treating his family and his wife with such disrespect on the same platform. So let me know what you guys think of Jack Shultz.